Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello! Hi, and welcome to an exciting episode of The Talking Heads, which is my experience. My name is Dr. Madalene Chan, and today on Talking Heads on USA Global TV and Radio, I am going to talk to you all about unconditional, compassionate soul. What it is, why we need this, why it's required in this world right now, and what areas do we have to have this in? Okay, so first of all, before I go on about talking about what it is, I want to talk about what's going on in the world right now. And it's all about the ego that's calling the shots. Ooh, what is that about? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can hear you. Ooh, what is it? Okay, let me tell you. Ego, calling the shots, is when separation comes in. When you're separating something that needs to have this unified. So separation, when you're being discrimination, when you're discriminating from about someone or a group or so anything like this, and being laughed at. And one of the worst ones, humiliation. We have to now have the understanding that all actions of the ego is represented by separation, discrimination, laughed at, and humiliation. We all come across this on a day-to-day basis. In a workplace, in our relationships, in our family, everywhere, we come across this all the time. Now, what is it? Okay, what the main problem is, the call of the shot of the ego in all those what I mentioned about separation, discrimination, being laughed at, and humiliation, all circumference around superiority over inferiority. This is a massive problem in this world today, and it's been for a very long time. Superiority. Superiority is the area of where the ego expands massively. For example, let me give you an example. Someone where you have a project and you draw people into this project and they're working with you, and you notice there's something not quite right about that person, or maybe you don't, because you're so into your project, you're so into your vision, that you are missing if somebody in your group, in your team, is feeling a little bit under the weather or not performing as they should. And superiority is when you just go ahead and keep focusing on your vision and not realizing there's someone in your team that's actually not feeling that good. So that's the ego, where you only think of yourself and your dream and your vision with all the people. Like, imagine everybody in a room in a meeting, and all you are thinking, oh, it's like the masculine energy, I've got to do it, I've got to do it, I've got to get it, I've got to get it, but not realizing that someone in the room, because you're not in the now and you're not being alert and aware or mindful, someone is feeling really, really down, but you want them to perform to the best at what you consider high performance. So that's about ego. Another superiority is about when, let's say you're born into a beautiful, well family, a good background. They call it a good stock, but a beautiful, a good background, family that love you and support you. And therefore, you get a hand in your education, you get a lot of help and support. But then when you take that support and you come away, and then you start to look down on someone who doesn't have that same experience and doesn't have those opportunities, then that's when your ego kicks in. That's when superiority is. It's like saying, I'm here, up here, in the high chain, in the high castle, and you're down there. And when you're in that space of being in that castle, you don't even think about that person who hasn't got as much opportunity and he's doing a menial job, for example, and you don't look at them to say they can be, they have the opportunity. If they had the opportunity, they could improve their life. Instead, the superiority ego mind says, well, that's who they are and that's how they're going to be and that's it for the rest of their lives. And so it's like, I'm superior and they're inferior. Yet they are inferior because the person that has no opportunities feel they've got to go like this, inferior. They have to, instead of stepping up and saying, well, yeah, I don't have the opportunity you've had, but if I was given this opportunity, then I would certainly make a go of and improve my life. But because of the superiority, the inferior just become even more inferior. So therefore, superiority over inferiority, inferiority being in fear of superiority. And then, of course, you've got your ego. Well, it is ego. Ego that's based on separation, discrimination, being laughed at, and humiliation. This is everything what's going on in this world. What we have to do, however, is we need to stop. And we have to look at ourselves and say, how would I want to be treated? If I was in that person's shoes. So it's almost, you have to come out of your own zone and picture yourself, imagine yourself in their shoes and say, what would I do better? How would I help myself to do better if I was there? And having that compassion and looking at it in that way, what it will do is free the ego from you. And you will have an understanding and you'll want to somehow work with that person that doesn't have that opportunity. If you don't work with them, at least you will not go into that judging of the classes, into superiority. You will have an understanding, given the opportunity, that person could be as good as me or even better and become the highest potential. Just because someone is born in a different background, less opportunities, does not give the right for someone who has been privileged to then judge and keep that person with no opportunities down. What we also have to understand, and this is from my experience as well. Okay, I work part-time in a restaurant. I do my teaching as well, but I work there because it gets me to be involved in people's lives on a day-to-day level. I can mix with people, that we're, doing a service, maintaining that the food is served in the most beautiful way, and people want to come back. If I was lazy, I wouldn't, I'd say, serve the dirty plates, this and this and this. And you know what? Unfortunately, and this is the thing, sometimes when the people are doing the menial jobs, then they feel grudged because of the superior ones that are not superior. They actually have got a heart there, but there's this big separation. And because there's this blocks and separation, they tend to go into inferior and superior. But when inferior is negative, then they judge. Isn't it confusing? So you need to ask yourself. Unconditional compassionate soul is when your actions, your words, your thoughts are not coming from a superior or inferior place. It's coming from your truth. It's coming from your heart space. It's having the understanding of, okay, that person didn't have those opportunities, but you know what? Everyone in this world, everyone has a bit of wisdom, has gifts that were born to them, gifts they were born to, which sometimes they're not awoken to, or they're too repressed and they don't discover it. So everyone has to learn that we are not here to judge. There is always room for improvement, evolving, unfolding the magic within someone. People sometimes stay the way they are because they've been told this is how it is. And it's got to stop. It has to stop. Because I tell you something, there's no way you're getting into 5D or living or going towards the light if you put postings of, I don't know, beautiful wisdom and words and everything, but your actions and your thoughts are of superiority. That's a biggie, isn't it? Honestly, because there's a lot of people out there that give so much about what they want to share with the world, okay? And what they want to bring through their product and their brand. But when they're meeting people on a day-to-day basis, and that person has not achieved as much as what they have, even though they haven't achieved the big dream, but they're working their way, if they have an attitude, if in their thoughts they think themselves superior to that one, that person there was there before at that position. If they do that, then they're fooling themselves because they're not working towards the light. They're staying in the shadow. And guess what? What is the shadow? The shadow is the ego. Yep, people. The shadow is the ego. And we all have to go and face our shadow. Some people remain in the shadow and they think they are of the light. But to truly be in the light is when you are mindful, aware of every conversation, aware of how you treat everyone you meet, everyone you talk to, with the same respect and love. At least where you're not judging and you're not thinking yourself superior, or you're thinking yourself inferior to the superior. You see, we are evolving, and evolution, let me tell you, it's not for sale. So those people that think that they have a lot of money and they think money, they can buy their way into 5D, sorry, but that's not, you're going the different direction. The boat has left already. You've missed it completely. But you know what? There's still time. Yeah, there's still time. There's still time to change. There's still time to explore and awaken and express the divine gifts, the true divinity of God consciousness, of a higher consciousness, because we are part of the universe, God, everything, all that is. Father, Mother God, the male and female, we are part of this. We are part of the all. We are the creator beings. Now, we need to at least be in the now moment, to be aware. So it's all very well, keep posting this, keep posting that, keep giving your words, keep doing this. But if your actions do not match your words, then you're living in a mask. You're living by the mask. So we have to have unconditional compassion for those who are like this as well. So we haven't to blame. We just have to say, okay, maybe there's some lessons that are needed to be learned. But it is not up to us to show the lesson, to explain the lesson to someone. The person who's experiencing this has to evolve, learn and evolve by the lesson. So there's many, many, many different lessons. So unconditional compassionate soul is being aware and treating everyone the same. Because at the end of the day, when we die, when we leave this plane, this dimension, money don't save us. Money can't save us. Our material things can't save us. Not even if our heart was in the right place. Can't save us. What I'm trying to say is our bodies decompose the same. Everything is the same. Therefore, that the big phrase, treat others as you would treat yourself. You know, look to others as you would look out for yourself. Look out for others as you would look out for yourself. If you don't want a dirty plate then don't serve the dirty plate. And remember that you have to have true discernment. It's not about how many likes you get. It's not about all this, because that's at the end of the day, if you're not living by what you're saying, but you're just saying it because this is how you do it, but you don't practice it, and then you're living in a fool's paradise. I'm sorry, you got it totally wrong. I'm sorry, you really have. That's not what it's about. No one is superior. No one is inferior. Superior and inferior do not exist in a 5D dimensional reality. And 5D has not arrived yet in our outer world. Not until we're right within us. Sorry, I had a bit of a fire there. Well, maybe. I'm not sorry. It's the way it is. I don't write a script. It's just the way it is. Magic. Unconditional compassionate soul is about putting yourself first, and meaning making sure that you are right within your heart space. You are right from an emotional, higher intelligence, emotional level, physical level, well-beingness level. All these levels are balanced. You need to live that balanced life. It's time that we became not just a compassionate soul, because let me tell you something, there's so many people that have the compassionate soul. We got to step up to glow up. And what we got to do? Unconditional compassionate soul. Take it up higher. Compassion is just part of 3D. It's the positive, the good side of 3D, the life that we knew. But the new world, the new life is unconditional compassion, compassionate soul. And it is the evolving of the souls and the leading from our hearts and leading from our the soul, our compassionate, unconditional compassionate soul, that is going to head us, guide us towards the light and not the shadow. But remember, shadow needs to exist in order for us to awaken to the light. You cannot, though, remain in the shadows and serve the light. No. You go into the shadows to become the light. Not you go in the shadows and you stay in the shadows and you follow the light. No, you got to come up. Remember I told you about last week, I was talking about a lotus flower in the dirt and grime. Boom, becomes a lotus flower to become a compassionate soul, to go into unconditional compassionate soul, a level up, a diamond shining purity life is when you have to look at each and every one, and treat them all the same. Yeah, no judging, no blaming, no criticizing. And if someone really hurts you, you just have to, yeah, they're coming from their ego, they're coming from a pain. You just remove yourself. It doesn't mean that you throw bad spells at them or bad thoughts or all this. No. It means you come away and you're not in that person's energy field anymore. You've cut the cords, but there's no judgment, and all there is healing, love, sending love and healing and leaving the universe and all that is and their soul to connect to their heart, to awaken them. That's when that is when you're being unconditional compassionate soul. Not coming away and talking, going, no, 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 no. But one thing that you have to learn as well, what we have to learn, is that sometimes the people that are actually involved in that scenario or situation, it needs to be talked out, but in a loving way, a loving set way. And then it doesn't need to go out of the circle. And then it just needs to be, the cords need to be cut, the emotional cords, in order so that you're not attached to them. And then in time, the more you're sending the light and the love, maybe they'll wake up, and maybe they won't. And if they don't, that's okay. You're just not involving yourself in their lives anymore. And you won't involve yourself in their karmic energy field, neither. So unconditional, compassionate soul is required in this life. And what I'd like you to take away from here is that to realize when someone is being superior, when someone's being inferior, when there is separation, discrimination, someone laughing and humiliation, you do not have to join in with that energy. You come away and leave them to it. Just leave them to it. Maybe there's lessons to be learned there. No, just remove yourself. If you feel you shouldn't be part of that, then you just remove yourself. You come away from it. So there's going to be a breaking down of superiority and inferiority. It's the breaking down of the ego calling the shots. It's been slowly decreasing. And the only way it will decrease if you face that ego, if you realize when that ego is playing up, and realize that treat everyone the same love and respect. Don't treat them horrible just because you're having a bad day. Don't treat that someone who's working in a menial job as if they're nothing. They're a person just like you. They're family. You know, they might not be privileged with the opportunities that you've had. But at the end of the day, if they were given them those opportunities, they would thrive, or maybe they wouldn't. But it doesn't give us the right to judge and think we're superior. Because in the eyes of the universe, I'm telling you, we have got a lot of work still to do. And there's too many people in the shadow thinking they are of the light and going out and saying, I'm of the light, but really they're still in the shadows. So remember, your guru is in your heart. Your heart will give you everything that you require, desire and require, answers, the resolution. They will bring the answers through. Your angels are there to ask. That's going to be for another series, by the way. Right, before I leave you, I want to sing a song. And this song is called Strawberry Street. I wrote it in 2006, and I was thinking, why am I writing this song? I wrote this song, the lyrics, not knowing what I was writing at the time. And it's called Strawberry Street. And basically it's this beautiful street called Strawberry Street that's glamour, full of richness and vastness and beautiful people and just a street of glamour. But in between the cracks of the wall is really what's going on. Superior, inferior, separation, discrimination, laughing at, humiliation. This is what this song is about. Excuse my voice though, because it's like, you know. Anyway, I'm not giving excuses. I'm just going to sing it. People laugh when we fall. Some do nothing at all. Out about on Strawberry Street. People play their mind games, slowly going insane. Out about on Strawberry Street. 'Cause it's hard not to feel all the pain through the gap in the walls, how they fall. And the streets are all paved with the same superficial glamour. Out about on Strawberry Street, the young youths never seem to sleep. It's a shame when the people look away. Out about on Strawberry Street, where the strongest hit on those who feel weak. It's a shame when the people look away. People watch and complain, stuck in their wall of pain. Out about on Strawberry Street, when the youth die so young before their real life's begun. Out about on Strawberry Street, 'cause it's hard not to feel all this pain through the gap in the walls, how they fall. And the streets are all paved with the same superficial glamour. Out about on Strawberry Street, the young youths never seem to sleep. It's a shame when the people look away. Out about on Strawberry Street, where the strongest hit on those who feel weak. It's a shame when the people look away, wanting this, stealing that, through the eyes of a cat. Out about on Strawberry Street, where the greed is consumed and their egos full bloom. Out about on Strawberry Street, 'cause it's hard not to feel all this pain through the gap in the walls. They fall, and the streets are all paved with the same superficial glamour. Come on, sing with me. I know you can't, but hey, you can. Out about on Strawberry Street, the young youths never seem to sleep. It's a shame when the people look away. Out about on Strawberry Street, where the strongest hit on those who feel weak. It's a shame when the people look away. Save those lost on Strawberry Street. We're saving those lost on Strawberry Street. Help those lost on Strawberry Street. Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Madalene Chan, and you've been listening to the Talking Heads, my Talking Heads episode, Unconditional, Compassionate Soul. And I will see you next week. Mwah. Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.